Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Castillo. This is my final piece. I entitled it I Like Games, to the factor that, well, throughout the course of this semester, I have come up with possible ideas that kind of put on the back burner. I figured that doesn't quite work with what we're doing for right now. So I'll come back to it at a later point when that could be used. And in this case, being that the only guidelines were Dorian, Phrygian, and Lydian, 8 bars each, I figured, what the heck, let's try this one out. Let's see how this comes out and see what I can do with it and see how it all plays out. So, you notice looking at the sheet music that quarter note equals 45 beats per minute. Basically, it's slowed down because I was trying to find the right rhythm, but at the same time, I was also trying to find the right speed, so this way each verse and chorus would fit within the restrictions of the 8 measures. So I had to slow it down and use 16th notes as almost like quarter notes in order to get my rhythm out the way I wanted it to. I also debated on whether I was going to make it 5/4 at first, because I was like, there appear to be 5 beats between each time I have that melody line in the chorus. So, but then it turned into 16th notes, and 16th notes, that's a quarter rest and a 16th rest squished in between. So, works out pretty well. Excuse me. There's also one other point I think I should mention, that the last measure before the key change into Phrygian or Lydian, or at the very end of the song as well. So 3 times this happens. But this is based off of what I came up with for a melody initially. So it's like, I gotta keep that in there, but it's like, I figure at least if I put it at the end, it kind of makes for a good kind of like transition moment, Okay, so basically what it is, it's, you got half steps. So it's a group of 4 half steps. So, and obviously in scales, you do not have 4 half steps in a row. It just doesn't happen. So, you have that. So, kind of like that. I could do that on my trumpet here, but I was using my mouth at the time, so that's what I went with. So pretty much, I think that kind of covers everything. But like I said, that's the only part that kind of steps out of the Dorian, Phrygian, and Lydian modes. It's just that those last 4 notes of that measure that step out of it. And it's not even all 4 notes, because obviously, going by half steps, at least half of those are going to be in the key. And I'm pretty sure it's, for the most part, it's only one that really steps out of the key, but you at least are going to have half that are still in key if the other half aren't. I'm pretty sure, though, it's only the one that steps out. Oh, wait, no. 2 step out. Yeah, okay, yeah. So 2. And then down there, it's 1. Alright, so for 2 of them, it's 2 notes, so half of the 4 are out of key, and then the last one, it looks like it's just 1 note that's out of key. But I think that kind of covers everything. So it does start right away, so thankfully, though, I am on G, because when trying to figure out my notes and whatnot, I figured out that I was on F. Based off of, well, actually, because the chorus is the melody that I came up with initially. That being said, I figured out, okay, B and A are flat. If B and A are flat, that means E must also be flat. And therefore, if E is flat, I'm most likely at least in the key of E flat. That's major-wise, of course. So, putting that into Dorian terms, that brings you into the key of F Dorian. And as the video required, there has to be the same tonic for each of the modes, which is the scenario. Of course, in my case, it's G, whereas in the rest of the instruments, it's all F. So I think that covers everything now. So let's start. Alrighty. So I did screw that up a couple of times here and there, but for the most part I was pretty on point. What was always throwing me off is the the 2/16 notes before I come in. It throws me off a little bit sometimes. Other than that, I think for the most part I did alright. Now you notice that in that last part, you get that, I think I kind of can hear slightly that Lydian sound. Or at least I can hear that it's now major. It stepped out of the minor modes and is now in a major mode. And I think it really clicks, at least to the fact that it sounds happier than the other two modes. At least that's what I was hearing. It sounds like it's stepped up, and it's, oh, this is nice. It's happy all of a sudden. You definitely hear it. I'm not so sure if I'm necessarily hearing Lydian or just the fact that it's now major. But it definitely sounds more joyful. Because I know going from the first 8 bars to the second 8 bars, you can hear it's gone down a little bit. You get more of a minor feel to it. Where stepping out of that, you get a more of a major feel. So I think that will do for tonight. Yes, I said tonight. It is currently 7:23 p.m. Waited a little bit of last minute to do it, unfortunately. I was focusing on other work. In fact, I still have a little bit more work I gotta do tonight. Besides this, that's due by tonight. Not much, just a couple of discussion questions. So I'll wrap this up. Edit out the edit in my little introductions at the beginning of each video. And yeah, I think that covers everything. So Ta-ta, Mr. Castillo. This will be the last class-based song I send you. I mean, perhaps maybe I'll decide to contact you again someday to share whatever work I may be working on at the present time. You never know. So, sayonara.